Greetings, my name is Amira Sankofa Kwali with Ask Life Coaching Ministries. Pretty much I thought about something. I forgot I had these handy dandy tools to show people how the chakra looks, because I was trying to do like a video earlier and I tried to draw it and oh my god, it was horrible. So I'm going to do a quick rendition of the 7 chakras. We, of course, know that there are way more chakras. There are 33 and up, of course, but only 7 that we deal with, and that's along the base of the spine, okay? So when you see dot, 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 and then, of course, we have, even these are chakras, okay? Hands are chakras. We also have the astral chakras that go above. Of course, we have so many chakras. But anyway, we're going to just deal with the baseline, which is the 7, which is normally where we work from. So I'm going to just basically show you the picture. I'm going to tell you a little bit of something from each of them. If you really want to learn more and get more involved with them, I'm your girl. I'm here for you. And I am so excited to teach you this class because I love the class. So with that said is, and I'm actually going to do a herbal video for one of my students. So stand by on that. But you got to pay for that because I'm not showing everybody that one. Okay. So let's do the basics. Okay. Right here. What is this called, everybody? Chakra 1. This is the chakra 1. Okay. So with this chakra 1, we have to understand this is the root support. Okay. And of course, this is where the coccyx plex, and this is where we're dealing with the base of the spine. And this, of course, is how we get our grounding, our foundation, our survival, and the stability where we, have that stability. Okay. So let's talk about the issues that can come from that. Because of a lot of us, the element, of course, deals with the earth. And of course, we definitely want to understand the color, which is red. Okay. And we have to understand this is where we identify in a physical aspect, self-preservation, and of course the negative aspect of it is where some of the fear can come from when we have fear. And also we have to understand the rights of it. So of course we know that we are having a situation where you feel like there's a right to be, there's a right to exist, there's a right to have things, there's a right to be here. And of course, the developmental stage, of course, this development is 12 months within the womb, okay? So, and of course, the cosmic aspect of this is dealing with the gravity part. And we have to understand that this is where we define things as far as when we have issues at work, when we have issues with stability, security within our relationships, financial security and stability. And of course, this is where we start dealing with the identity of trust and where we start having these trust issues in the base of the spine. That's not the only aspect, because there's a lot of different chakras that deal with the trust issue or security aspect, but definitely it starts there. That's the base of the spine. So, you know about that. You know a little something about that. Anyway, you have enough to kind of go off on, right? So we're going to deal with the second one. I just told y'all the answer, right? So here we go. This, of course, is chakra number 2. Okay. And this, of course, is dealing with one's place. This is dealing with the sacra area, the genitals, the hips, the lower back, etc. And this purpose is basically movement, the flow of things. And this is also dealing with the ovaries and the what? Testicles. Okay. And of course, we know that this color is orange, right? On the outside. Okay. And of course, we know that this is dealing with taste. Okay. Taste. Okay. And of course, we know the seed sound is vam. And of course, the vowel sounds so cool. Okay. And so, of course, this is how we gain our emotional identity, because the emotions, that's why when I've talked about before about you going with our lower natures or going with the thought of having sex with people, and wondering why we people become so emotionally attached because you had sex with them. Because of this. Because of this. Okay. So we have to understand the negative aspect of this, of course, is the guilt aspect. And of course, when we start dealing with these issues, these are sexual issues, and this because maybe someone got raped, molested, or maybe they had sex too early on in their life. Maybe they started sex started sexually at an early age. And also this is emotionals, when maybe they have been abandoned by a parent or by someone who was supposed to raise them. And those, of course, or where we get, and also where we get our gratification from. So that's certainly another issue. So yeah, if y'all want these classes, I would certainly teach you, but you have to pay for them. But they're so blessed. Excuse me, and I could train you and certify you into helping people in that aspect, respect. Okay, so of course, this is what 3. This is the third chakra, and of course, this is dealing with what? The solar plex. And this is the purpose is energy and will. The where you get the energy, where you feel the energized, okay, feeling, and where you begin to get that willpower when you start going to the personal power, and you start going on individualism, and your self-esteem springs from, and where you feel your value at. When you begin to feel that value, when you get to feel that love, and of course, this is the element is dealing with fire. Okay, so, and if you noticed, these are kind of connected to what? Your zodiac. We'll discuss that. And of course, like I said, this is what you will learn in the class. Okay. So at any rate, you definitely want to talk about the color, which is yellow. Is that yellow? Right? And of course, we deal with sight. Okay. This is where the element and the sense of sight. Okay. This is 3. Okay. And we have to understand about, of course, when we start going into the ego identity, how because some people have problems with ego. Some people do really good on egos, and some people operate based up off entirely their ego. Okay. So of course the negative aspect is shame. Of course, when people start dealing with that, when the issues, of course, when I start talking about this power, and it could be personal, it could be financial, spiritual, but personal, dealing with your personal. So that can evolve into other things, and we can certainly discuss that. So we talk about your willpower in order to do something, where you get your strength from, where you're able to, the way you master things, the way that you look at things, the way that you rise above things, and the way that your self-esteem, your imagery comes from. Let's see what else. And basically the way that you react to things, the way that you the way that you determine how yourself to be, the way you see yourself, the way that you come across to others, in the way that you show. And of course, this developmental stage, of course, they say it's from 18 months to 3 years. I think it's a little bit long. For me, I've noticed maybe 4 to 5 years. That's possible, but the books tell you that long, but I think it could be a little bit longer. It depends on, everything is not necessarily the stone aspect of things, but what I found is that it's a little bit longer. But who knows? It could be a little shorter. Depends on what child you're talking about, right? Because each child goes on a different, some can be developed more, some can be, who is to say on that level. But again, this is 4. Okay. And of course, this is the 4th chakra. And this is, of course, the chest. Okay. And this deals with love, relationship, compassion, that kind of thing. And so when you start dealing with that, we know that the color to be green. And we know that the sense is touch. Okay. Because it's, touching people's heart, touching people's awareness and definitely connecting with that. So that's basically the heart chakra. You know, different people call it different things, right? Of course, this is your social identity, how you socialize with people, the way that you react. Do you have emotions? Do you care? Do you need them? Do you, do you play well with us? How do you respond? And of course, it's the element of air. Okay. And this is the self love. This is the balance. This is how you deal with relationships. This is your compassion. This is how you relate to people. Okay. And so, of course, how the right is like how to be loved. How do you want to be loved? How do you know to love? That kind of thing. Now, this age usually talks about, it says normally within the books, it says about 4 to 7 years. But give or take, that can start possibly a little bit earlier because children can, define certain things and they are very intelligent and they might be sometimes at 2 years old. For real though. I mean, it just, again, it all depends, but they say from 4 to 7. But, or it can be a little bit longer. It could take into maybe 9 years old, possibly. Again, it just all depends. So, and again, it relates to certain zodiacs. For example, the next one I'm getting ready to get into is one of the things that the Taurus, because I'm a Taurus, some things that Taurus battles with. So we're talking about, bam, the fifth chakra. And what is that? The fifth chakra. This is the throat chakra. And of course, location is at the throat, okay? And of course, the communication, creativity. Sometimes when we're not balanced, we go off of the creativity realm. Our throat starting getting like really it hurts. We have issues with that, or we have this battle of expressions of selves, okay? And so of course that issue can be thyroid issues, sound. Of course, you have expression of listen to one truth, listening, and self-expression. So the way that we express ourselves, so a creativity identity, as I said, the right for people to listen to us, to be heard and understood, because we love to be understood. And anybody that's battling that, so it's not just a Taurus, anybody could be battling that, but I'm just saying this particular zodiac sign has the most issues with it, but that's not the only one. But just to say, and the thing is, in dealing with that, is the lies, where people can sometimes lie, because it could be a situation where maybe maybe people are lying to themselves, or maybe people are lying to others to maybe protect them from hurting their feelings. Sometimes you don't want to hurt people's feelings, or sometimes it's an all out lie. Lie's a lie, right? But the sense, of course, is the hearing aspect of things. And of course, this age, I think the book says like from 7 to 12, right? However, again, that's kind of, the preteen thing, because they're still going through preteen. They still going through, it can last for a little bit longer. It can be 14 years old, 15 sometimes. It all depends. So again, I don't write that in stone. It can start earlier. It can start at 5, because again, children they understand about a lie a little bit more, and they can communicate and they're able to lie better. Let's just be honest. So again, when we talk about the color, and of course we know it to be blue, right? And see the whole blue area. And of course, with chakras, we deal with different type of stones as well. Again, you take the class, you'll find out more about that. So here we go. Excuse me. Ready for the next? 6. Booyah. 6. Okay. So now we understand they call this angina. Of course, this is the brow, the third eye chakra right here, right? Because we did the throat. Now we're doing the third eye right here in between the eyebrows. That's why they call it the brow chakra. Okay. And of course, this is where we get out, where they talk about the third eye, you see the eye clops, and of course they begin to, I'm sorry, let me hold this up, because I just get so excited. And I forgot the whole point of this is for you to see them rather than just, looking at my beautiful face. What? Anyway, so of course you get your clarity from there. You get your um, insight, your intuition, things like that. This is basically where you get your clairvoyancy, where your psychic abilities start. Your imagination also start in this area as well. And they call it the pineal gland, of course. And a lot of us, you can tell when we're off because we are unable to feel certain things, when we have lost touch with that, and tell when that is not always, in spirit. And of course, that color is indigo. And of course, we deal with the sight. That's common sense, right? That says it right there, the common sense one, right? And of course, this is the identity. This is the arca level uh, of the, expressions, metaphysical aspect of things when you're reaching into a higher self. Part of your higher self. So this is kind of connected, y'all, but we'll go more into detail about that. They have more in common. So some of the chakras are going to kind of connect with each other. If you look at it in the way that I explain it, I go more into depth into that. But anyway, so of course, now, the problem with this one is the illusion aspect of things, because sometimes we will place something in our minds or in our third eye that aren't really there. So even when people are doing certain readings from you, that's why you have to be careful, because they can perpetuate what they feel like should happen. This is not actually what they see, but what they feel like should happen. Instead of telling you, well, I feel like blah, 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 as opposed to, the truth. And so they put it in their own minds, especially when they're not properly trained. And some people, when you're doing your readings and you're doing your own readings and you really don't have no kind of education, or you don't really understand it, what happens is you will put something in play, and it doesn't, and you don't understand what it is. Because, for example, you could be saying that maybe your spouse or what have you is cheating on you. Your spouse is not even cheating on you, and you put that in your head. You know what I mean? So we have to be careful of that. And of course, it's dealing with dealing with yourself, what you see of yourself, what you see, and how we review things. Okay. And you want to be seen. The right is for you to be acknowledged, seen, to see higher than where you are. Right. And so, of course, this offers and definitely deals with, guess what? The adolescence. So throughout your adolescence is kind of where you are developing this. And I really feel like I've seen children, well, for me, even me at a younger age, I've already had this. I had this before I even hit adolescence. I'm just saying. Some of the stuff that came out of my mouth when I said to my mother, she would be like, "What are you talking about?" And it'll happen. She's like, "Oh my God." So again, so that's definitely is what it is. So guess what we're dealing? Last but not least, 7. Okay, and of course, this is the color of violet or white. See all these beautiful colors. Of course, and this, of course, is dealing with the crown, as I told you before, the head, the crown chakra at the head, right in here, in this area right here. Again, boom, boom, boom. I'm sorry, I said nose. My nose, I got to do boom. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Boom, 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 boom. And the boom, and going down, right? But I'm not going to show y'all that. I didn't already kind of went over that. So, I can show you the symbol, which we know pretty much on this part of this is a withdrawal. This is the sense of withdrawal of senses. And this is called the pituitary gland. Of course, and this is dealing with the thought, the conscious, and of course, I told y'all how the connection, the spiritual connection, because this and this is spiritual connection, all of it's spiritual connection, but this and this, of course, does offer that. And of course, when you start dealing with the brain cortex and the cerebral and all that kind of junk coming into, and it deals with the how you understand things, how you develop in things, the unity of the divine, and understand the divine powers of all, and so it's just a way that we look at things. And of course, the intelligence factor. Of course, we understand the identity. Of course, like I said, they have a lot in common. So, of course, the self-knowledge, and of course, the negative aspects of this, of course, would be dealing with the way we attach, letting go of things, the attachment, certain things, when we start getting real ignorant about things, and the way that because we choose not to acknowledge things, or we choose not to see and envision and see what we want to see as opposed to the truth. Okay. So this right here is about unity and unifying. Okay. Because we have to understand all of these are all connected, how we're all connected with the seven. And of course, outside of the seven, but what we mainly deal with. So, at any rate, I'm going to wrap this video up because this is supposed to be a quick video, but I call myself going more into detail about some things. I guess I could show you this little thing I wanted to show you. Okay, hold on. So, of course, when you start dealing with things, you see right here, this is how it pretty much looks, right? You see? All right. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Anyway, I'm signing off. If you want to take the class, I do offer the class, and I kind of go a bit more into detail. And I also help people to unblock them as well. So I am certified to do both. So anyway, namaste.